You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about the Detroit Lions. I think a lot of people have suspicions that maybe the Lions aren't as powerful as we could possibly imagine. We don't know. We've got a couple of people. Now, I would understand why Aaron Rodgers is salty after the Detroit Lions win the NFC North. Of course, he's going to want the Packers to win that, and we've got video of him expressing that. Jared Goff's having a good season. And we've got a future NFL Hall of Famer, Larry Fitzgerald, that's come out and, basically called the Detroit Lions a bunch of frauds. Now, I find this interesting because Larry Fitzgerald once played for a Cardinals team that defied all expectations and nearly won the Super Bowl with Kurt Warner. In fact, I think they were leading that Super Bowl they were winning that Super Bowl with around a minute left. And then Big Ben Roethlisberger, I believe, hit Mike Wallace in the end zone for a very close to last-minute touchdown to win that Super Bowl. But Larry Fitzgerald, nonetheless, doesn't necessarily buy that the Lions are for real. Now, this is what he said. It's hard for him to take them seriously. Now, if you look at their record, and don't worry, we'll get to what he says, but when you start looking for signature wins, well, you got one here against the Chiefs to open the NFL season, but, boy, the Chiefs aren't quite the powerhouse that we thought they would be now, are they? You start looking down the list, they played a pretty good Seattle team, lost at home, played the Ravens, got destroyed. Interesting. The Fighting former Brandon Staley's nearly beat them in L.A. The Packers just beat them in Detroit. They took a loss to the Bears. And then you got some things like, we beat the Panthers, we beat the Saints, and victories like that. But it's hard to find a signature victory. I think a lot of people believe we will find out more about the Lions this weekend, Saturday night in primetime, when they go to Dallas, who is virtually indestructible in Dallas. The Lions might shut up some haters if they win that game. But let's get to what Fitzgerald has said right here. The Lions won a division title for the first time since 1993 as they put together their first double-digit win season since 2014 and their first playoff berth since 2016. Even as the Lions' offense is third in yards gained and fifth in points scored, the NFL great Larry Fitzgerald isn't exactly sold on their Super Bowl aspirations. Quote, "Look, you can say I'm the Grinch right now, but a team that hasn't won a division since 93, it's hard for you to take them that serious." Fitzgerald said on a recent episode of the Let's Go podcast, that's Tom Brady's pod, "It's just been a long time coming. Yes, they're playing really well, but they are the Detroit Lions. It's just tough to get excited about what they can do in the playoffs. You want to see a great matchup they have against the Cowboys. It's a wonderful test before they go into the playoffs. The Lions are a much different team than they were 30 years ago and even 5 years ago. Head coach Dan Campbell, and I like Dan Campbell, he's a hard-nosed SOB, has changed the trajectory of the franchise since he took over. Now it's about getting through the rest of the regular season and maybe picking up some momentum in the final 2 weeks. Quote, "It's important. We checked the box on one thing, and now it's on to the next one. So at this point, now we're fighting for the 2 seed. At least Dan Campbell's got them believing, hey, we need to keep checking boxes here. There are things left to do during the regular season, even though we're North champions. And look, if you're able to get to the 1, so be it. But right now, what we know is we can achieve on our own is the 2, and that's no easy task. We have to go to Dallas. That's going to get very interesting, folks. It is, and this is the updated playoff standings right there. As you can see, these are the 4 NFC teams that are in. So that leads us over to Aaron Rodgers. It was Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, a couple of days ago with Pat McAfee, and he was asked about the Lions winning the North, and as you can expect from Aaron Rodgers, he's just not real happy about it.
Not happy. No, not. I mean, although I'm in New York, I definitely still want the green and gold to take the North every year.
Oh, yeah.
But they got a good football team. Jarrett's had a really nice season. Obviously, St. Brown is a fantastic receiver. They got a lot of guys. Two really good backs. Jahmyr's had a really nice year, and I've always been a fan of Montgomery. The way he runs the ball, his toughness. Line's really good on both sides of the ball. Defense been playing good. So they got a good football team. So they're going to, host a playoff game. I think the NFC is pretty deep. I think we can all agree on that, right? When we saw, there's got to be some NFC teams feeling better if they watched that game yesterday and saw how Baltimore, beat San Fran. Philly's been up and down. Dallas has been up and down. Detroit's, had their moments too where they haven't looked great. Probably should have lost to the Bears. Packers beat them in Detroit. So, I think the NFC's pretty wide open.
Okay, and I think a lot of us feel that way. The NFC's pretty wide open, but I still think the Niners are far and away the best team, regardless of what happened on Monday night. And in case you're wondering, Jared Goff is currently the 11th ranked quarterback on PFF's quarterback grades right now through this point in the season. And in case you have not been paying attention, Jared Goff is having a monster season, a monster year for the Lions. I mean, he's got a hair under 4,000 yards. He's third in the league, and he's tied for third with 27 touchdowns. He's having a really good and big year, and there's one thing you can absolutely say about the Detroit Lions. They got some weapons. They got some weapons in Detroit. So the one thing they should be able to do once they get to the playoffs is score points. All right? Their defense at times does flash, but we'll have to see. But, yeah, I think they're going to score some points when they get in to the NFC playoffs. Whether or not they can parlay that into the NFC Championship, I don't know. But look, Dan Campbell's pretty hard-nosed. I feel like that team has sort of taken his identity, and we've all seen him. He's very passionate about this team, and he keeps them pretty fired up. So I'm interested to see what the Lions can do. But Saturday's a massive test. And the only way they're going to shut up people like Larry Fitzgerald is going to be by making the playoffs. I would guess at least winning a playoff game. And this team, look, when Jameson Williams and Jahmyr Gibbs and Aiden Hutchinson gets another year under their belt, next year, look out. They have another draft, maybe add a weapon or two in free agency, whatever. Shore up the defense a little more. This Detroit team, I will say this, they should be pretty good for a while. And man, Jared Goff, talk about a career resurgence. Going to the Lions was exactly what the doctor ordered there. Tell me what you think, black and white sports supporters. Is Larry Fitzgerald right? Look, there's some things that would lead you to believe the Lions might be frauds. But they can prove everybody wrong, including Aaron Rodgers and Larry Fitzgerald, this weekend. And then in the playoffs, even if they beat Dallas, which is a big deal, but even if they beat Dallas, they have to win a game in the playoffs, in my opinion, to be taken truly seriously. I mean, it is what it is. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.